Okay, we're continuing with chapter 30 here. So the other big three implementations that the book talks about are Rubinius, Iron Ruby, and Cardinal. So it's a little bit out of date. Um, I'm looking at the current Ruby implementations, the active Ruby implementations listed here, and then the dead projects. It looks like Cardinal and Iron Ruby are listed in under the dead projects section. But even this Rubinius, which is a it's written in Ruby as a Ruby interpreter. I think the last time that it was updated was 2 years ago. So I don't know if anyone is still working on it. Um, there are um, there are differences even within some of these Ruby implementations. There are going to be differences that you need to like be aware of. Um, even um, even between like let's say JRuby and uh, the NC Ruby, the so by default, I think an integer value in NC Ruby or the MRI Ruby written in C um, is uh, is that like the default size of an integer is 32 bits in MRI, whereas in JRuby I think it's 64 bit integers are the default. And even then, I think it depends on the platform. So if you're on a 32-bit version of your operating system, you're going to have a different default size. And even then, the default sizes of some values are going to be different depending on the version of JRuby or the version of NRuby that you're using. So when it says like know your implementation, know that there are differences in the implementations, and I mean it's really hard to know all the details of your implementation. You have to dig in deep to really be familiar with everything because it's just not evident. But there are differences. Um, this just talks about Matt's and what he was looking to create when he wrote MRA. Um, yeah, so you can look at the C source code for MRA, and um, if you can read C, you can read the source code. There is a lot of the source code, and it has become more complex over the years. Um, yeah. Do you want to explain some of these sections here?
I think we'll cover them in the next book, which goes into detail because I think this skimmed over. Okay, it made sense, but still it skimmed over like so many things.
Yeah. Yeah, and it without reading the actual source code or without a book that goes deeper into it, I'm not sure, and especially since this is out of date, um, I'm not sure it's really worth explaining the sections of chapter 30. Just
Yeah,
that there are differences between the different interpreters. It's worth knowing the differences to be able to choose correctly. Um, the current versions of Ruby are listed here. MRI, that's the default. Truffle Ruby, which is an implementation. It's a high performance implementation. Um, I I thought, well, I didn't know it was Growl VM. Um, there's uh, JRuby, which allows for parallel processing. MRuby, which is meant to be embedded. So if you wrote like a game, um, in C or C++, and you want your users to be able to create mods for that game, and you don't want them to write in C or C++, you can embed Ruby into your larger application so that your other users, um, oh, stopped sharing. Can you still see my screen share?
No.
Okay, hold on. This is because the recording for the last session ended. Um, there are versions of Ruby written in Go. There's versions written in Rust. Rubinius is a Ruby one. This one, Topaz, is in Python. So if you know a different language and you want to learn the Ruby implementation, it could be good to use that other implementation and dig into its source code just to get familiar with Ruby at a deeper level. Um, but for the most part, most people are going to be using Ruby MRI, and that's the one by default that it's worth sticking to because uh, that's the one that you're going to have most compatibility with. Okay.
Yeah, so I think we can just skip that and maybe move to chapter 31, but that's also like a one-page chapter.
Uh, yeah, I mean, so really it's just uh, talking about the spirit of, you know, what he wrote in the earlier pages. Uh, I do like that, you know, he exemplified how flexible Ruby really was with all the previous chapters, you know, but because of the flexibility, like here he says, be careful with missing and at every stage, I really did like how the chapters said, okay, here's the power here's powerful features you can use, and then here's what to watch out for. These are the danger points, because it's really like this power gives you a lot of flexibility, but it also gives you a way to um, break things, and you have to be aware of the way things might break. So I really do like the way the book was structured.
Oh yeah, actually, I saw a post, I think like, was it a month back? He was talking about writing an updated version of the book. I think to bring it up to speed with the current Ruby versions, which I think is, it's a good book. Like I've been introduced to so many things, things that seemed not to make sense earlier before. So yeah, I think when that's out, that's something that you can pick up, and then you see how he goes into the various things that changed and how he explains the new features and things like that.
Yeah, I saw that post and I submitted my email so that I could get updates when the new version of the book gets
Yeah.
published.
So yeah,
Um,
I think that's pretty much it, Nelson.
yeah, I think so. I look forward to starting the next book. Do you want
Yeah.
to share the next book?
Oh, the next book is Ruby Under a Microscope. and that is, I think that's a book that's going to go into detail and cover most of the things we've looked at here in a more extensive format and in a more detailed way. So, in case any of you guys are listening to us, maybe listening to this recording, you can consider joining us starting next week.
When next week?
I think we can do Tuesday or the usual Friday.
Okay. So you're going to
Mm.
update the links, the schedules on the Discord then?
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
then I was also thinking of I don't know, keeping it that way because that's the situation that was going to cause the change in schedule. I figured out another solution to it, so we might just keep it on Friday because I think it's more convenient for people that way.
You mean not change the links, but actually change the day that we meet. So we're still meeting on Tuesdays at that time,
Yeah, yeah.
but we're not going to update the links to the invites for these meetings.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That works for me.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see you next Tuesday then.
Okay. Take care.
Oh, are we covering chapters one and two or just one?
I think we can do just one because it seems kind of dense.
Okay, so yeah, that's 30 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we can just cover one per week.
there's a lot fewer chapters in this book. It ends on chapter 12.
Yeah. So what do you suggest we do two? But
Yeah.
two is
No, no,
two
no.
seems
I'm saying one chapter is good because uh, there's a lot more pages per
yeah.
chapter here in this book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll see you next week and for
Okay.
chapter one.
Okay.
Take care.